Landscape soil composition greatly affects the success of your plants and gardens. Here to show us how to test our soil texture is Shari Petrucci from the Western Mass Master Gardener Association. Shari, you're getting us ready for spring and spring gardening.
You betcha. And in our last segment, we talked about having your soil tested for toxins by sending it to the UMass Extension, and they can do a complete analysis of the soil. That would be all the chemicals in your soil, the pH, the structure, and the texture. But I'm here to just demonstrate today a quick analysis of your own that you can do at home of the texture of your soil.
Now, why do you want to do this?
Well, when you're growing different vegetables or perennials or herbs, they require certain makeups of the soil. That is a certain amount of sand, a certain amount of silt, and a certain amount of clay. And some of our properties have too much clay, too much sand, and so when you plant things, you want to know what they need for a healthy start and for good produce.
Okay, now this may be a silly question, Shari, but could your soil actually be different from the backyard to the front yard? Should you test both, or should it be all the same?
I would only test where you're growing. I mean, you certainly want to do soil tests in all parts of your property.
Oh, you do. So wherever you're growing, you definitely want to do a soil test.
Right. If you want to test your perennial beds, that you would test different areas of your perennial beds. If you want to test your vegetable gardens, say if you have a raised bed, you're going to just test that one and then not compare it to the next one, because one might be doctored up to be better for tomatoes and the other one might be better for other things.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, but for a quick analysis at home, it's kind of hard to get soil right now, but I did have a little area, and so what you do is, as you can see here, I don't know if you can get a view of this, but this is really a mixture of all kinds of soil that's been recycled, and it's full of pebbles and mulch and everything like that. And what you want to do is you have to sift your soil and just use very fine particles. And so what I have it in is a mesh sieve, and I don't know if you can see it coming through like that.
Just the very
and
fine
help
particles.
it along, right? It gets a little dusty in the air, so don't breathe in.
Okay.
Don't breathe.
Don't breathe. It's a little dusty.
And
If
after
I sneeze, you'll know why.
Right. Right.
Okay.
And after you've done that, I'm going to scoop it. You want it in a jar. It doesn't matter the size of the jar. You want about 5 centimeters of soil measured up, which is about 2.5 inches.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit.
All right, then we need the jar.
The jar, and then you scoop it right in.
Okay.
I'll do that because I don't want you to get dirty, okay?
Oh, thank you, Shari.
We have a lot of work today.
So you scoop it right into the jar.
Right in.
And like you said, about 2.5 inches worth.
2 inches is good.
Okay.
Especially if you have a smaller jar. You don't, and I say a lot, I'm so sorry about that, but
don't be sorry.
Oh, it's terrible.
Lots to think about while you're doing this. Okay, so you put the...
And then you fill it. You don't need to measure the water, you just fill it.
Okay.
So that part you can do.
Yep, under control.
And stir it up.
Okay, look at this cute little spoon.
Yeah.
Okay, stir it up.
And at first it's going to be very dark and murky. It takes a while for some of the particles to absorb the water, so you have to let it sit. And general rule of thumb is an hour, but for some soils might take a little bit longer depending on the makeup.
Okay.
So after you've done that, go ahead and put the lid on.
So you don't shake it, you stir it.
Well, we're going to shake it now.
Oh, we are? Okay, so there's a lot going on here. So now...
Give it a good shake.
Oh, gosh, gotta make sure it's on there. Nice and tight.
Yeah.
We don't want that flying everywhere. Okay, good shake?
Okay, yeah. And that's what it should look like. And after about 24 hours, you're going to have it separate. Now move it gently, and it will get clearer. And I don't know if you can see here. I should have used more soil so there would be a higher definition of separation. In this area, you will find that you just get the two, the sand and the silt. And then the organic matter floats on the top, and that's good stuff, so you can leave that. So I predominantly have sand and silt. I don't have really any clay. And on the form that I sent for online, oh yeah, right there, it's separated into 3. And from that, you can tell how much, by by estimating a percentage in the jar, how much sand, silt, or clay you have, and that way you know how much you need to amend your soil to better grow the thing that you're going to be growing in there. Do you need to add more compost, or do you need to add more sand, you know, things like that, more organic matter? Yeah,
so
it is very, and it's great to do with kids too. In the classroom, in the classroom you can do this, and everybody could bring some soil from home in the spring and into the classroom and do their own little experiment. So, you know, or even if you're just babysitting your grandchildren one day, you can do that with them. They'd love it.
They'd love it. Yeah, and they can. It's something they can help with.
Yeah.
And then you have this at the end. You see exactly what your soil is composed of, and that's a really inexpensive way to test it.
Really, yep. Everything is all recyclable. You can use these mason jars over and over again. You just wash them after.
You sure can.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Shari. Looking forward to getting out and gardening. For even more gardening tips, visit us online at mymassappeal.com.